So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
Well. Welcome to the Alliance, guys. Welcome to the pre-party. I wish I would have said that correctly. I have a great guest for you this week. Of course, thanks to the NWA for making this person available to speak with us. He is a former NWA television champion. He was one of the few guys to hold the regional titles as well as being a champion on TV. He held the television title. He held the JCP Southeastern Heavyweight Championship, a title he still holds. And he also held the WLW Heavyweight Championship. My guest this week, your number one contender for the NWA World Championship this Saturday.
It's me.
It's definitely you. Welcome to the show. First and foremost, you look great. How you doing?
I know. I can't have a bad day. I haven't had a bad day in probably since the last I can remember. And yes, I am the number one contender for the NWA World Heavyweight title. I feel like I have been for a while, considering I haven't been pinned in over 2 years, but whatever.
It's a very interesting position to be in, that number one contender spot, because there's a lot of notoriety that comes with being the number one contender. But like Schrodinger's box, you either when we open it up, you're either going to be the world champion or you're going to not be the world champion. And this Saturday, July 25th, I mean, the world's going to either find out, is Carson Drake going to finally win the big prize? Are you finally going to be world's heavyweight champion? What does that mean to you to have that?
I can spoil it for you right now. Yes.
Give me some, like, look, everyone knows that you are very confident. We'll use that word, very confident in your skills. The NWA is a promotion where there is a lot of very talented individuals. Who are some of the guys that you would be willing to say are on your level?
I wouldn't specifically say anyone at NWA is on my level, because I have set the bar in the sport of wrestling so high, you would need a world record pole vault to get over it. But I can admit when somebody is talented, like Aaron Stevens, manager of champions, absolute genius, the only guy that I'd be willing to entrust my career to. You have a guy like Mike Mondo, who's in the FOC, absolute animal in the ring, an animal in the gym. You've got a guy like Spencer Slade, phenomenal wrestler. Slime balls have their own thing. My cousin Lockjaw, he's weird, but he's coming into his own. Silas Mason, I cannot say he's a bad wrestler. He's the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Obviously, horribly talented, but a successful man he is not. And at the end of the day, I've always found it curious. How does the number one contender make more money than the current world champion?
I believe it has to do with shrewd negotiation. Clearly, Aaron Stevens did you a solid by making sure that happened. Speaking about Silas Mason, the world's heavyweight champion, he's done something that, very few people have done. In fact, it's only happened like 3 times in the last 40 years. And
I'll stop you there. I agree. He was able to burn down his own house and, get a new one. And I'll applaud that.
Oh, man. Please, nobody send this audio to Thrillbilly.
It's insane. It's insane. I'm usually burning down houses in the terms of NWA events, but this guy, it's on a whole nother level.
The question I was going to ask is, taking the 10 pounds of gold to Japan, taking specifically to All Japan Pro Wrestling. Somebody who I know that you do hold in high regard, EC3, is a former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion that took the title to All Japan Pro Wrestling. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the only other guy in the last 30 years besides Thrillbilly Silas Mason to take the World's Heavyweight Championship to Japan. Tell me about that. For Carson Drake, what does it mean to take the 10 pounds of gold to a prestigious place like All Japan Pro Wrestling?
All Japan Pro Wrestling, objectively, the best wrestling that Japan has. Now, what does it mean for me to defend the belt in Japan? To me, it means I'm getting more money. I don't think about wrestling in the sense of, gosh, how do I phrase this? I wrestle because it's fun. I enjoy it. But if I wasn't getting paid to do it, I absolutely would not do it. Now, going to Japan, I've been to Japan before. Did I wrestle there? No, I don't like to wrestle when I'm on vacation. But defending the NWA World title in Japan, or defending it in Mexico, or defending it in Australia, and being a traveling champion, I understand is part of the job. Now, granted, what it means to me is that I will have more vacation time. I'll go to Japan. There is nobody in Japan that could beat me if I have the belt or if I don't have the belt. There's nobody in Mexico that can beat me, whether I have the belt or whether I don't have the belt. First off, American wrestling, the absolute best wrestling that exists. I don't think anyone's arguing that. What I will say is it doesn't matter who I stepped up against. If I went to All Japan, it could be anybody on that roster. I am going to dog walk them Sunday through Sunday, depending on when I left for my flight.
These are very bold statements, and I feel like
a talented wrestlers, of course. Talos is there, talented. Rene Abi, super talented. The guy that Silas Mason wrestled, obviously talented. But again, it takes more than just being good at wrestling to beat me.
Luck tends to be on your side quite a bit when you are out in that ring. What do you attribute the success you've had in the NWA to?
I'm a superior athlete. I've never claimed to be a wrestler. I've always said that I am a TV star that has chosen to wrestle because I'm good at it. I don't need to wrestle. I haven't had a job since I was 18, and that's because my dad made me get one at, I will not name it. But it was for more or less kind of rubbing elbow purposes. So I don't need to have a job. I don't need to wrestle. I started wrestling because me and my buddies watched some of the people who did it. And I said, I could do it way better. And I find physical joy in the fact that some of these guys, some of these guys miss funerals. Some of these guys miss weddings. Some of these guys miss the birth of their children. And I'm just having a good time hot dogging around. And somehow I am wildly more successful than they are. So at the end of the day, whether you want to call it luck, whatever you want to call it, I am a clearly superior athlete. I played lacrosse. I was in football. I wrestled. I also was in golf, but I wouldn't say that's an athletic sport. Clearly, it's more than luck at this point.
You're a bit of a renaissance man, aren't you? Wrestling, football, lacrosse, and golf. Each one of those sports is slightly different. I mean, the competition, of course, is always there. Wrestling and golf, it's more of a one-on-one situation. Football, it's a team environment, along with lacrosse. I'm a guy that wrestled. It doesn't look. I'm not a TV star like yourself, but I wrestled. And some of those skills that I learned in wrestling, I feel like have helped driven me along the way in life, taught me to be a better man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think everybody out there, if you have a kid and they're going through high school or they're going through middle school, shove them in wrestling. I don't care if they don't want to do it. Put them in wrestling. Put them in water polo. I excelled at that. Put them in tennis if you can afford it. It's a great sport. It teaches you values that guys like Wrecking Ball Legursky don't have, that guys like the Slime Balls don't have.
Those are your guys, though.
Let's calm down on that. Wrecking Ball Legursky is not my guy.
No.
Slime
I'm
Balls,
sorry. Let me rephrase that. The Slime Balls, They work for you.
Okay, but would you know if I was the manager of a Subway, would you say the people working for me are my guys? I wouldn't. I work with them. They're acquaintances. They're great guys, admitted. But my guys, I would not say.
Fair. Your guys are the Federation of Champions, and I think it's a testament to, again, the scouting and development of one Aaron Stevens to put together such a super group of pro wrestlers. Mike Mondo's been on this show. Spencer Slade's been on this show. And, now we have you on here. I feel like we hit the trifecta. Coming up for Sunday, it's going to be a big night of wrestling. Of course, you have the opportunity to wrestle for the 10 pounds of gold. Your brothers in arms will be in competition against.
I would like to rephrase that real quick.
Sure.
The way me and Aaron see it is, yes, I get to wrestle for the NWA World Title, but objectively, anytime you look at the Comet TV ratings, anytime me and Aaron are on TV, there's a spike. So let's rephrase it as Silas is getting the opportunity to wrestle me, and the world title is on the line.
I mean, that's fair. I don't get the Nielsen ratings. I don't have the breakdowns, but we know the numbers are good. We know the
numbers are fantastic. We are one of the top companies in the United States, let alone the world.
Let's pause on that for a second. You are a part of a company who has an existence that goes back 78 years, that over the course of the last decade has been going through a rebirth, with Billy Corgan buying the company in 2017 and bringing it back to the fold. And you're part of this. You are part of this steam that's powering this engine that puts the NWA on Comet TV, that puts the NWA in the 2300 arena. The ratings are good. We're more than likely going to have a sellout at the 2300 arena. If they haven't already sold out now, the walk-up is always good. I've been there the last 2 years that you guys were there, and it's always done well in terms of business. What does that mean for you?
I wouldn't say I'm a part of the, I'm not just a cog in the machine. I've gone on and said this, and it rubs people the wrong way. Carson Drake joins the NWA. Very soon after, we get a Comet TV deal. Very soon after, we get a TV deal. It's not coincidence. I'm not going to say that I'm the sole reason that we have these deals and that we're on television. But what I will say is that I am a major factor. I am a huge reason that we got the Comet TV deal. I'm a huge reason that we have the Tubi deal. They recognize me as a TV star. They recognize me as one of the absolute best in professional wrestling history already. And I'm with the NWA. So it's kind of it's a symbiotic relationship. The NWA is becoming the top tier in professional wrestling today, if it's not already. And Carson Drake is the number one top tier guy in professional wrestling today, if I'm not already. So what does it mean to kind of carry this company on my back? It means that I'm getting an extension on my house. It means, gosh, what did I do last week? I actually just closed on a piece of property in Arizona. And I don't even have the title yet.
Whereabouts in Arizona?
Sedona, but I won't drop anything more than that. So I don't want people to show up.
You don't have to. Sedona is beautiful. There's a lot of nature and great things to see out there. Not too far away from Southern California. A place.
I have a place. I have a place in Long Beach. I have a place in Sedona. I do working on a place in Louisville. I do have a spot in Tampa because we're in Tampa pretty much every month.
It's got to be nice to be able to sleep in your bed wherever you go, I guess, right?
It's a creature comfort. I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people nowadays don't budget properly. I don't think they're spending their money properly. I think a lot of people, they're blowing $10 a day on Starbucks coffee. You could be saving that money. I think a lot of people are lazy. They're not working hard enough. Take me, for example. Yes, I was given some advantages at birth, but we're all given the same 24 hours in a day. I just happen to be smarter and use them better than most people.
One of the things that we see on Power every week is the Carson Drake Experience, the hottest podcast out there. Maybe it's time for some financial analysis with Carson Drake as well, where you could berate people who spend their money on the poor stuff.
That's a phenomenal idea. My only problem with it is how do I phrase this? I don't want people to get better.
Jesus.
I think this just it goes with the beast. You know what I mean? I'm at the top. I objectively don't want anybody else to get to the top. Mondo and Slade and the Slime Balls and Aaron, they're exempt from that. We're all killing it. We have our own game plan. But once I'm the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, my game plan is to not let anybody even get their hands on the belt, let alone even attempt to beat me. I don't want competition. This notion that people want to wrestle against the best is insane. I am the best. You can find me at NWA on Comet every Saturday at 4 p.m. But we have this new thing called Into the Fire, where they're scouting for the next 8, I believe it is, and they're looking for the next big guy, the next big thing. And I hope they're ready, because whoever wins, I'm going to make your life miserable. Because
so you're targeting the incoming class?
Absolutely. The fact that anybody backstage helps anybody, I have always found insane. I know why Aaron decided to start helping me. The money involved. I 100% know that. He knows I decided to start letting him help me because of the money involved. Now, through that, did we build a friendship? Have we built a mentorship? Sure. But you don't walk up to an ugly girl and ask her out because you think she'll be nice. You know what I mean?
I mean, sure. Of course, I know what you mean. Is there any concern? A title that your mentor has never won but has challenged for was that 10 pounds of gold. And maybe we're pulling the cart before the horse, but is there any concern that maybe after you win that title, you have to look at Aaron Stevens and he says, I want a shot, brother?
I don't believe so. Because you could say the same thing about Mondo. You could say the same thing about Slade. You could say the same thing about my cousin. You could say the same thing about the Slime Balls. But I think the way Aaron has set us all up is what is best for all of us versus what is best for one of us. Could Mondo go after Silas and win the world title? He could beat Silas any day of the week. Could Slade go after Silas and beat him any day of the week? But Aaron knows that it makes more financial sense for all of us if I'm world heavyweight champion, if Mondo is national champion, if Slade is junior heavyweight champion, if the Slime Balls become world tag team champions. So I would hope that everybody could come to their common sense and realize it's in the best interest for everybody. If I'm world heavyweight champion and we don't mess with it.
Where does Jack Vaughn and Dalton McKenzie fit into this?
They're dead to me.
Whoa. The hard way is dead to you.
I tried to help them out. I tried to give them some tips. They decided not to take them. They're now more worried about what the fans think of them. They're now more worried about what the people watching think of them as opposed to the people that pay them. And that's fine. But I won't associate with them, and they don't need to associate with me. What I can promise is they just became #1 contenders for the U.S. Tag Team Championships. The Slime Balls will not lose the titles to them. I can guarantee it.
Well, that match took place at Hard Times, which has not aired yet on Comet TV, but it will happen in the coming weeks, and everyone can stay tuned to that. Again, Comet TV airs every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and the replays follow, I believe, at midnight on both East and West Coast. And the matches also will be re-aired on Tubi as part of that new deal where every Thursday, where the library will continue to grow. And I think that's such a great thing because the fans
people watching a library is where they, usually keep a stock. I know most of the people listening to this probably haven't been to nor know what a library is. And no, a library is not just a show that's on Comet as well. The Librarians.
Is that a show you've checked out before?
I have checked it out. It's
here's the thing.
Comet TV, it's phenomenal stuff. not just NWA. Watch all of it. It's all great.
You know, a greater spokesperson, Comic couldn't ask for. You're sitting there plugging not just your program, but all the programs. What a great spokesman.
It's almost like I'm properly media trained as opposed to some people like the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion from a drive-through city and a flyover state, but whatever.
Let me ask you a question, because I love the fact that you're from California.
I love it too. I love it too.
We haven't had a lot of California representation in the NWA. If you win the world title, will you defend it out here? If someone calls
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once I'm world heavyweight champion, I'm going to do everything in my power to never be on the east side of the United States. I hate Pennsylvania. I hate going to New York. I enjoy Tampa, but I don't count that as the east side of the United States, if you get what I mean. I'm mainly saying I'm going to get out of the Midwest. I'm going to go back home to California. I'm going to celebrate. I will then defend the title in California. I'll defend it in Arizona. I'll defend it in Colorado. I'll defend it in Nevada, wherever I need to be to not be in the Midwest. Because some of my least favorite places on this planet, one of them being Philadelphia, are in the Midwest.
We call Philadelphia Midwest?
I call Philadelphia Midwest. What do you want to call it? The slums? We can call it whatever you want. I hate it.
I'd go with Northeast, but I mean, I'm not a geography major, so we'll go with Midwest.
I can't. I hate Chicago. I hate Philadelphia. I hate New York. I can't stand any of these major cities. They all suck. You've got an amazing arena like the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Unfortunately, it's been hampered by the fact that some people call it the ECW Arena. Ew, one of the worst companies to ever exist. One of the worst things that ever happened to wrestling. Hopefully, after the 25th, we could change the name of it to the NWA Arena and/or the Carson Drake Arena.
I mean, both of those are acceptable. The NWA Arena, it has a nice ring to it. It's been there at least 3 times now in the Lightning One era.
That's
and it
true.
seems to be a major staple in the.
We've already put on better shows than ECW ever did there.
That's fair. That's fair. I want to pull back a little bit, and you can push back and say no. But first of all, California kid, you had to eat In-N-Out at some point. What was your In-N-Out order?
Most of the time when I get In-N-Out, it's either a double-double or sometimes I'll do a triple, but most of the time I'll do 2 double-doubles, 2 fries, and a cup of water because I don't drink soda. And if anybody out there watching this does drink soda, you're disgusting. That's my typical order. Right now, because I am getting prepared for 78, it would usually be protein style, double-double.
Do you like pickles?
Give or take, but I'm not going to ask for them.
Really?
Absolutely not. I'm not going to ask for pickles.
I would think that would be 100%. Like, if you get a pickle, not everyone gets a pickle. If you get the pickle, not everyone gets the pickle.
I feel like this is a conversation that somebody's mother would have, but
maybe
whatever.
Let me tell you my favorite In-N-Out order, and then judge me on whether it's a good order or not order. I'm a guy who's trying to lose weight too, so I go.
Okay. I wouldn't say I'm trying to lose weight. I look great, but
sure, I'm trying
continue.
to lose weight. I'm trying to get fit, right? So I go 2x1, right? 1 piece of cheese instead of 2. No spread, grilled onions, mustard fried, mustard spread, and either protein style when I'm high on a carb day, or extra toasty when it's when I'm on a low carb day.
That sounds abysmal. I hate that.
Oh, sorry, you're missing. What?
I once went to In-N-Out and David Crockett was there, and his order was ridiculous. But the order you just gave, I've never heard of.
Well, because
that sounds abhorrent.
It's great. Try it sometime.
No.
It's fair. It's
gosh. Instead of In-N-Out, how about you get out? That's insane.
Well, you have to get in to get out. And I'm not in.
You shouldn't go in. They shouldn't let you in.
I'm telling you, you're missing out, man. people who are tuning in right now are like, what the hell are these two talking about? So let's get back to wrestling. You said that you were watching wrestling as a kid. Which wrestler did you see? I know you said that, hey, I see what they're doing and I can do it better. But was there somebody who you rooted for as a young Carson Drake, a little CBD, if you will? Who was the guy that made you think, you know what, I want to do that?
Funny enough, you know what? I'll give you my top 3: Damian Sandow, Jeff Jarrett, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, objectively, besides me, best wrestler of all time. Jeff Jarrett might be better than Hulk Hogan on some days. Damian Sandow. By the way, might add, when I was 15, Damian Sandow was at the top of the WWE. And to not only 10 years later be working with him, but to be mentored by somebody with as vast knowledge as he has and as big of a bank account as he has is incredible.
And I'm assuming that you only watched the WWE. You didn't really go elsewhere to watch your pro wrestling.
Well, I watched prior NWA footage. I love me Ric Flair. I love me some Tully Blanchard. I love Arn Anderson. He's fantastic. My only gripe with these guys is, they say Ric Flair's one of the greatest of all time. 16-time world champion. I don't know how many times he won the NWA championship. Harley Race, phenomenal. 8-time world heavyweight champion. Objectively a great wrestler for his time. But if you were to put me back then, the only reason that they had the titles that many times is because they're old and I'm young. If you transported me now back into 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, these guys wouldn't have had the NWA World Championship that many times, if at all. You were talking about Ricky Steamboat defending the title in Japan. He wouldn't have been able to do that if I were around back then. Just objective facts. And if people get angry about it, that's fine. You're wrong. If you put LeBron James back in the 1970s, he'd be the highest all-time scorer ever. There's no arguing it. So if you were to put me up against guys like Ric Flair, I'd dog walk him. If you put me in the ring against guys like Harley Race, I'd show him what a real man is. You put me in the ring with a guy like Ricky Steamboat, they're all phenomenal, but they wouldn't have a chance. But I can still sit back, be humble, and say they're great.
I love that you can, you take the everyday man approach and sit back and be humble. I think that's very admirable of you, someone of your stature and of your, of course, championship heritage so far, to be that humble guy.
NWA World Television Champion. Objectively, I was a better NWA World Television Champion than Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Mark Merrow, any of them. Steve Austin had the NWA World Television Championship. I had a better run than he did. It's just a fact. Anyone watching can argue it if they want. They're wrong.
As the Federation of Champions have emerged as maybe the most dominant stable in the Lightning One era, what does it mean for you to be a part of that? Again, the dynamic. You said earlier that you don't really want anyone to be better, but collectively as a group, you guys do hold a significant amount of championships in the NWA. And I'm curious as to, like, again, your mentor, Aaron Stevens, is orchestrating this, but you're a big part of it too, and I don't feel like, it's only Aaron Stevens. It's a collection. Mike Mondo has never looked better in his career than he does right now. Spencer Slade is, I think, one of the unsung heroes of the NWA in terms of his in-ring ability. Someday he will be world's heavyweight champion, whether you want to or not.
Objectively. And you know what? As a part of the group, I will have absolutely no problems with Spencer Slade becoming a world heavyweight champion. But at this moment, it's mine.
Well, at this moment, it's Silas Mason's. What happens on Saturday, of course.
I guess. Okay, fine. Yeah, I guess the moon isn't out right now, so therefore it's not going to. But I guess we can.
So then I guess the next question is, once you capture the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, from what I'm gaining from this conversation, this isn't about ego. It's about It's about money.
Yeah.
So
What are we doing this for if not money? You know what? So many people say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But I promise you, I have never gotten on a plane to Cabo because I enjoy flying there.
it's fair.
You know what? I can admit there's a history to the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Will it objectively make me the number one guy in wrestling? Yes. Will it make me the top professional wrestler in the world? Yes. But to me, more importantly, not only do I make more money than anybody in the NWA, once I'm World Heavyweight Champion, that is going to be objectively a truth. I will make, aside from what my parents have, and aside from what my grandparents have accumulated, and to what I technically already have, not counting wrestling, there will be nobody that can touch me. I mean, okay. I bought this last week. This is a $27,000 Rolex.
It's a nice looking watch.
It's a nice watch. And I'm not even World Heavyweight Champion yet. I have my eyes on another one that I plan on getting after I win the world title with the fun money that NWA provides me.
So, objectively then, if it's about money and as opposed to the title, there's other places that, pay really well in pro wrestling. There's nothing about legacy that appeals to you?
Of course there is. Just because the number one goal is financial gain doesn't mean that nothing else matters. Part of me will enjoy the fact that I will be known as the best wrestler in the world today. A large portion of me, and I've talked to my therapist, and she says that this is an unhealthy way to think about it, but a large portion of me will frankly be happy that Silas does not have the world title. There is a huge enjoyment factor to me, as upsetting as it may sound, that enjoys the fact that a lot of people would give their left leg for wrestling, and yet I'm going to be World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm not even trying. There's a large part of me that enjoys the fact that there are people out there upset that they're not in the position that I'm at, and I'm not even trying. You have guys like Ric Flair, again, one of the all-time greats. But once I have the world title, I am going to put on a reign that would make him cry.
One of the longest reigning world champions in this era is former world heavyweight champion Nick Aldis, who did a tremendous job representing the National Wrestling Alliance, taking the title from territory to territory around the globe. For him, having spoken to him and being an observer of his reign, it was about legacy. It was about proving that he was the best. In some sense, do you have to beat his reign?
Sounds like a lack of confidence to me, if you ask me, if you have to prove to other people that you're the best.
So the validation only comes from within, not from the external.
I don't think there's a better lesson you can get from this podcast we're doing right now, other than the fact that validation, confidence, and who you are comes from within and not from what people see you as. I know I walk out and people dislike me almost based on the fact that I have a lot of money. It has been like that since the dawn of time. People discriminate against people who have objectively worked harder, who have attained more, and sure, who have gotten lucky, if you want to call it that. But again, let me bring it back to this. When you are born, you are given a house, a proverbial house. Some people's, there's holes in the ceiling, the floorboards are creaky, the lawn's all jacked up. For me, it was perfectly fine. But you know what? After you're born, it might be someone else's fault, but it is now your responsibility to keep up with that house. And just because people out there, I don't have enough time in the day, Oh, I don't make enough money. You're lazy. I work harder than you, and I'm not even working hard. But if you're looking for motivation from other people, if you're looking for validation from other people, you're doing it wrong. It all comes from within and how you feel about yourself.
Look, I agree with you on that, right?
Yeah.
100%.
And they call me the bad guy. They call me the bad guy. The only reason people side with Silas is because they can identify with him as opposed to look up to a guy like me. And that's a problem with society today is we look down on the people who have done something with their lives. And we just try to look up to people who are on the same plane as us. And that's a problem because if you look up to people on the same level, you're going to stay on the same level. But if you look up to someone like me, you know what? I'll be objective. You're not going to get to where I'm at. Whoever watching this, you're not going to get to where I'm at. But you know what? If you shoot for the moon and you miss, you're bound to land on a cloud. And that's better than being on the ground floor.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a firm believer in that positive mental attitude. It guides me daily. So I love the aspirations that if you don't hit the moon, you could still land in the clouds. I like that quite a bit.
And it takes a lot. It takes a real man to admit that they're not where they want to be. And I think a lot of people, they boo me because they're insecure. I think a lot of people boo me because they don't like their current lifestyle and they take it out on a guy like me, which I think is unfair.
If we were to, again, you need to win the title before any of this we can really go forward with any of this. And objectively, that is the mission on Saturday night, July 25th, the 2300 Arena.
ECW Arena.
Yeah. You notice how I never call it the ECW Arena?
I know. I get so sick and tired of people doing it that it does irk me a little bit. Because you just want to talk about some untalented people, some people that just they're working for free. What are you doing? You're working for pennies. What do you? I wouldn't go join the NFL if. Guess what, guys? We have no pads this year, and you're also not getting paid. Yeah, all right.
So it was posed in the chat. We were talking about Nick Aldis, and he's not my favorite guy by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, he's returning to the ring. That's SummerSlam. That's another company I'm sure you don't even associate with. But you did face Nick Aldis once before, and
I did.
Tell me what you thought about him in the ring. I mean, this was
overrated.
Oh shit!
Overrated. Nick Aldis, not as good as I am. Now, I will say, if you watch the match, he cheated. If you've seen it, he didn't beat me.
and that is something that is a hallmark of Carson Drake, of people not being able to beat you. Regardless of whether you win or lose, they didn't beat you. And
I have not been beaten in 2 years. Nobody has pinned me. Nobody has submitted me in 2 years. And I'm just now becoming number one contender for the NWA World title.
Rivalries are what power pro wrestling stories for years and years and years. And a good rivalry makes a fun experience for the fan. It also gives a lot of satisfaction to people who are trying to climb up to that ladder to get to that top spot in the company.
Yep.
Is there somebody in the NWA you would call your top rival? Somebody in the NWA that you've looked across the ring more than once and said, you know what? He's not Carson Drake, but the guy's pretty good.
I'll go on record saying that Tom Latimer in ring is the absolute best wrestler that the NWA has. I would not say he's my rival. I'll go to say maybe Silas Mason is going to end up being the Carson Drake rival. But notice that he's going to go down as my rival. I'm not his best friend. He's my best friend. Rephrase that. You know what I meant.
I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And I think where that comes from again is I don't think there's anybody in the NWA more different from me than Silas, except for the women, obviously, because I'm a man. But you have a guy like Silas. He's from a county you've never heard of, in a flyover state, clearly unkempt, clearly not media trained, very obviously more of a I'll stay away from this guy kind of person. And then you have me, born on the West Coast, Huntington Beach, California, highly successful my whole life. Mom and dad, highly successful. Grandma and grandpa, highly successful. I'll even go ahead and say it. My grandfather is part of the reason we have the barcode. So we'll throw that out there. There could not be a more Ric Flair Dusty match in today's age than what is going to happen at NWA 78. This will be a battle of classes. This will be a clash of characters, if you want to say that. But what I think makes us so unique is that off this podcast, I am this. Out of the ring, Silas is exactly who he is, and I hate it. But I think that's what makes it special, and I think that's what makes it worth tuning in. And I think that's why the first time in 30 years there will be an NWA champion as young as me. That's why I think for the first time in God knows how long, the main event of NWA 78 is going to be ran by someone as young as me. I think that's why the first time in NWA history, and potentially the last time in NWA history, Carson Drake's going to be NWA World Champion. I say the last time because I'm not going to lose that, so I'll do it.
And I hear everything that you're saying, and I want to just acknowledge too. You said one of the most complete wrestlers in the NWA, not including yourself, obviously.
It's Tom Latimer.
Tom Latimer.
And you know what? I wrestled him a long time ago for the world title. He beat me. If you watch the match, again, he cheated. And I'm not saying that because he cheated, I didn't lose. Objectively, cheated. If you watch it, it's on YouTube and Tubi. He cheats. He looks great. He sounds great. He moves great. He wrestles great. And as good as he is, I'm just that much better. Now, the crazy thing is that was over 2 years ago. So he barely beat me by cheating 2 years ago. And since then, I've only gotten better.
Well, then the point I was going to make was, again, great run as world champion. He beat EC3, who I also had a lot of high regard for as world champion. He lost to your opponent that you'll be facing on Saturday. So what does that mean for what how can we say that Silas Mason isn't a great damn champion when he beat one of the great damn champions who beat one of the great damn champions?
Mike Tyson never lost a fight.
Okay, that's a great point.
Tom Latimer is great. Mike Tyson is great. Somebody did knock out Mike Tyson. Does that mean the guy that knocked out Mike Tyson is better than Mike Tyson?
That's stiff,
according
right?
to your logic. Jake Paul is a better boxer than Mike Tyson.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of caveats to add in there, I think. But
there's no caveats to Carson Drake is the best wrestler in the NWA. There's no caveats to that. There's no asterisk.
I think we have to objectively remove Carson Drake from that equation because there is a universe outside of you as well. And if tomorrow, because again, you're so independently wealthy, if tomorrow you decided, you know what, you're going to be the world's greatest snow skier, or you want to be the world's, like, the wrestling will still happen, and these matches will still take place. If tomorrow you were to disappear, the world would still continue. I'm not saying that you're not objectively great. I'm just saying that we have to acknowledge what's going on around you as well.
Sometimes I don't think it is. Sometimes I do think that that this is all a figment of my imagination and it's all kind of built around me. But that's a different problem I've talked to my therapist about.
I mean, I get it, right? Because, like, I'm just a figment of your imagination as far as,
I say that, and I started believing that at a young age, just because everything goes my way all the time in a very mysterious way, where anything I want, I get it, right? If I've wanted it, I've either been given it or I bought it. Now, the NWA title, for some reason, I haven't been able to get yet. But if you look at the last 26 years of my life, I get what I want when I want it. So why would it stop now? If I were a betting man, which I am, I'd bet on me winning it. Now, but back to Tom Latimer, I think there's more to wrestling than just being good in ring. I think Bret Hart, people say how good he is. Super overrated. Really not that good. You got guys like Shawn Michaels at the time. Way better. 10 times. I'd go to say 10 times better.
Wow.
Than Bret Hart. You have guys like Eddie Guerrero. Super overrated. He's not that good. I've never met someone. It's insane that the clout that a 5'8" guy has around him. I've never understood that. The only time in the history of man where someone under 6 foot is regarded as highly as he is. It's insane. He's not that good.
So, okay. You said Hogan was the best.
Objectively.
Again, taking yourself out of the equation.
Yep.
You put Hogan over as one of the best.
Yep.
Who are some of the guys that are objectively as good as they're not overrated? They are exactly rated as they should be.
I think Ric Flair, exactly rated as he is. I think Mount Rushmore, there's an argument that he's the best. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, objectively. You got guys like Hulk Hogan. You've got guys like Barry Windham, phenomenal. Guys like Art Anderson, phenomenal. Guys like Mondo, he's exactly as good as Mondo says he is. You've got guys like the Kazanas that are exactly as good as they say they are.
That, you know what? That is some praise from Caesar there. I wasn't expecting that.
There's no argument that the Kazanas are probably the best tag team in NWA history. I'd even go as far as say the best tag team in history.
One thing that you will know, regardless of what happens on Saturday night, is that there will be a new number one contender crowned
I saw that.
on Saturday night. You've got Heath making his NWA debut. Kratos, former World Tag Team Champion, former U.S. Tag Team Champion, two-time World Tag Team Champion. You've got Effie, who I know we see him on TV at hard times. And, of course, the current Crockett Cup champion, All Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion, Talos, will be in that matchup. You have any rooting interest in this one? I mean,
I found it honestly disrespectful because nobody kind of asked me. Nobody brought it up to me. They just did it. Let's say somebody thinks I'm not going to be world champion.
Okay.
You already make a new number one contender match. Now, for the 99% of sane people, they know I'm about to become NWA World Champion. They don't think to ask me or let me know with a heads up that there's going to be a number one contender match the same night. I find that highly disrespectful and horribly insulting to me. I mean, you could have at least let me pick the guys. You could have let me pick when it was going to happen. If rooting interest, who do I think is going to become the new number one contender? I want to say Heath because he's the most well-versed in wrestling out of the entire group. But then you have guys like PB Smooth and Talos who are ginormous. Granted, I've beaten both of them. You have a guy like Kratos, objectively phenomenal wrestler, multi-time tag team champion. Only problem is this isn't a tag match, so probably not at the top of the list. But if I had to bet money, I would bet Heath. If I were betting for an underdog, I'd bet on Effie. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you know what? Let's say there is a new number one contender. And let's say Heath is the new number one contender. Then in August 22nd in Tampa, when we do our double tapings, 2 in one day, I guess it'll be Carson Drake against Heath for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Wow.
And you know what the end of that match is going to be? Still NWA World Heavyweight Champion Carson Drake.
I'm not trying to plant any kind of seed in your head, but the manpower alone from the Federation of Champions, I think if you wanted to, you could end any match at any time.
Oh, it's almost like you're reading my mind. I don't have the same concept of, gosh, how do I phrase this? If I throw a guy out of the ring, I expect the referee to count them out. Let me phrase it like that.
Yeah.
Once I become NWA World Champion, I'm not going to lose the belt because I would soon rather kick the man in the nuts right in front of the referee than lose the world title. I would soon rather spit in the referee's face and get disqualified than lose the NWA world title. There is no scenario where I lose this belt.
The one thing that I want to encourage you to do is to have a backup plan because, you know, you said it. If you want something, you could buy it. If you want something, you can earn it. But what happens to Carson Drake if Saturday night his hand isn't raised in victory?
I don't see that happening. You know, hypothetically, let's say that happened. I can't even imagine a world where if that happens.
There's a bullseye on Silas Mason as much as there is on you. There are a lot of people within the NWA who want to win that World's Heavyweight Championship. We just talked about 5 guys who have potential to become the next number one contender. Plus, you've got a guy like Kerry Morton out there. Who knows what he's capable of doing? He turned on his best friend. He allowed Brian Idol to pin him. Obviously didn't win the title, but that's something that you should be concerned about. Alex Taylor, somebody who was part of the Southern Six with Thrillbilly Silas Mason, he could be in his corner and it could come out and get you disqualified or get himself disqualified where a title won't change hands. As far as I know, this match is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. It's not a no disqualification. It's not a no count out. It's to a fall. There are a lot of variables you can't control in this.
Yeah. And if my aunt had handlebars, she'd be a bicycle. Yeah, that could happen. Maybe it would be a good point for me to put Mondo and Slade at the curtain. Maybe the slime balls sit under the ring in case a car hits Mondo and Slade at the curtain. That might be part of a game plan talk with me and Aaron. What I can say, I haven't quite thought about this as deeply as I thought.
We're 4 days away from Destiny, 4 days away from the 78th anniversary show, a company that has literally been around before most of the retailers we shop at these days. And you have an opportunity to wrestle for what many agree is the grandest prize in pro wrestling. What are your thoughts going into Saturday night?
Pure confidence. My thoughts would probably go as far to say that over the past few weeks, I don't think I've ever been truly happy in my life. And do I think I will be once I become NWA World Champion? No. But do I think there will be a little bit of improvement in my mental state knowing that Silas isn't World Champion? Yes.
Wow. Wow. I always like to keep these to about 50, 55 minutes, 60 minutes. You have been very kind to spend your time with the poor. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, talking wrestling, talking about the 78th anniversary show. Of course, this Saturday, if you can't make it in Philadelphia, you can watch the NWA on Comet TV at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. The NWA will be there and at midnight. Or if you can make it to Philly like me, you're going to fly all the way out to Philly and sit ringside, and I'll be there, Carson. And if you win that world title, I hope you pose with that belt for me so I can get the best picture.
I absolutely will. And you know what? That's the difference between me and a guy like Silas. He sells T-shirts and he draws government checks. I sell tickets and I draw viewers to the NWA. And I would say going into this match, that's the backbone of what's happening.
Obviously, due to restrictions of when the program will air on television, it might not be common knowledge of who's world's heavyweight champion at the conclusion of Saturday night. However,
I have a feeling it'll get around.
Absolutely. But when it clears TV, if you are our world's heavyweight champion, can I pencil you back in for another interview?
Absolutely.
I
am going to have the busiest schedule probably in wrestling today once I become NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Do you already have some feelers out there of where you would be working next?
I have a couple, what's the phrasing where you put some irons in the fire?
There it is.
Because how can I not? Because I'm going to win the NWA World title. If I could bet $5,000 on it, I would. If I could bet $20,000 on it, I would. Unfortunately, NWA is not a company where you can gamble. But I'm going to win the NWA World title.
I mean,
I've never been more confident about anything in my entire life. So, of course, I already have things set up.
I mean, it sounds like a good plan. I want to thank you again for coming on today. Real quick, if you would like to plug your social medias or how people can follow you on the internet, please do.
Gosh, plug my social medias. Hey, guys, Google me. I'm joking. Instagram is Carson_Drake_. On Facebook, type in Carson Drake. Gosh, I mean, just Google me. If you want tickets for NWA shows, go to nwaliveevents.com. If you're looking for my merchandise, go to my Instagram, follow me. There's a link in the bio. If you don't have Instagram, because for some reason you don't have a phone, even though 95% of homeless people have phones, NWA, no, it's nationalwrestlingalliance.com/merch. Go there. Go to where it says wrestlers. Find Carson Drake. We have FOC merchandise. We have just Carson Drake merchandise.
All right. Well, thanks again, Carson, and all the best luck to you on Saturday. I will see you there. And until next time, we'll see you guys at the matches. Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.